The High Five Habit. Mel Robbins. Mel Robbins, the best-selling author of The 5-Second Rule, returns with another life-changing idea in The High Five Habit. This book is about learning to become your own cheerleader instead of your harshest critic. Mel's message is simple yet powerful. You spend your whole life cheering for others. It's time to start cheering for yourself. By doing one small action every morning, giving yourself a high five in the mirror, you can reprogram your mind to believe in yourself again, boost your confidence, and shift your entire emotional state. Let's dive into this in detail. The origin of the high five habit. Mel Robbins shares that the idea came to her during one of the lowest points in her life. She was exhausted, depressed, and disappointed in herself. One morning, she looked in the mirror and instead of criticizing herself as usual, she raised her hand and gave her reflection a high five. Something changed instantly. She felt a small spark of compassion, motivation, and self connection. The next day, she did it again and again. Within a few days, her mood, confidence, and energy started to shift. She realized you don't need motivation from the world, you need celebration from yourself. That simple high five became a daily act of self respect and emotional healing. The seed for this book. Why we struggle with self love. Mel explains that most of us are not our own supporters. We are our own worst critics. We have been taught since childhood to focus on achievements and others' approval, not self approval. So we grow up criticizing our reflection, doubting our abilities, comparing ourselves with others, chasing validation instead of peace. She says, if you spoke to your friends the way you speak to yourself, you would have no friends. The high five habit helps to reprogram your brain to treat yourself with kindness, pride, and encouragement. Emotions we've been giving away to everyone else but ourselves. The science behind the habit. This is not just a feel good talk, it's backed by neuroscience. When you give someone a high five, your brain instantly releases dopamine, chemical of happiness and motivation. It also activates the part of your brain associated with celebration and connection. The same thing happens when you give yourself a high five in the mirror. Your brain recognizes the gesture as positive reinforcement. Over time, this simple action rewires your mind to see yourself as someone worth rooting for rather than someone to criticize. It bypasses words and directly communicates encouragement through body language. Your brain already knows what a high five means celebration, pride, love. You are just redirecting it back to yourself. The morning mirror moment. Here's how the habit works. Every morning, stand in front of the mirror. Look into your own eyes. Acknowledge yourself even if you feel tired, sad, or unmotivated. Raise your hand and give your reflection a high five. That's it. You don't need affirmations, pep talks, or long routines. The simple gesture says, I see you, I believe in you, I'm on your side. It's a daily reminder that you are not your mistakes or your fears, you are your effort, your courage, and your growth. The inner critic and how to silence it. Mal discusses the inner critic, that negative voice inside your head that constantly tells you you are not enough. It says you are not doing enough, you are a failure, you'll never be like them. This voice is rooted in fear and past conditioning. It believes criticism will make you better, but it actually destroys your motivation. The high five habit interrupts this pattern. It trains your brain to replace judgment with encouragement. Each morning, your brain receives new evidence. I am someone worth supporting. As Mel says, you can't hate yourself into a better version of yourself. You can only grow from self acceptance, breaking the cycle of self rejection. Most people start their day with negative self talk. The moment they wake up, they look in the mirror and notice flaws, wrinkles, tired eyes, weight, and immediately judge themselves. This creates a subconscious pattern of self rejection that repeats daily. You begin the day already against yourself. The high five habit flips that completely. It creates a pattern of self support. When you begin the day by cheering for yourself, your energy, posture, and emotional vibration change. You face challenges from a place of belief, no doubt. When you see a person in the mirror who's on your side, you stop sabotaging your own success. Emotional energy and the power of emotion. Mel explains that emotions are energy. If you start your day with guilt, fear, or shame, you carry that low energy into your work, relationships, and choices. But if you begin with pride, love, and belief, your energy becomes magnetic and strong. The high five habit is not about ego, it's about emotional alignment. It's about choosing to stand by yourself even when things aren't perfect. This daily practice reminds you that you deserve love now, not when you earn it. Rebuilding trust with yourself. The biggest reason people feel stuck is because they have lost trust in themselves. They have broken too many promises to themselves. I'll start tomorrow. I'll stop procrastinating. I'll change my habits soon. When you constantly break these small promises, your some conscious stops believing you. The high five habit helps rebuild that trust one gesture at a time. Each morning you prove that you show up for yourself, even in small ways. Mel says, every high five is a word of confidence, a contract that says, I've got to. Over time, you rebuild inner faith and self respect. How to handle negative emotions. Mel doesn't say life will always be positive. She acknowledges that we all experience sadness, doubt, anger, and fear, but the key is not letting those emotions define you. Instead of drowning in negativity, pause and remind yourself, I'm still here, I still believe in me. A high five doesn't erase pain, it helps you face it with compassion instead of self hate. It transforms the struggle into strength. She writes, you can't control how you feel, but you can always control how you treat yourself. The high five habits in action. Mel gives countless real life examples of how people used the high five habit to change their lives. A woman battling depression began to high five herself every morning. Over weeks, her self talk softened and she regained motivation to go outside and socialize again. A businessman is stuck in guilt and stress started using the habit before meetings. It reduced his anxiety and improved his performance. A student dealing with failure used it to rebuild confidence and self worth before exams. No matter the situation, this habit reconnects you with your power. The connection between the high five habit and gratitude. The habit naturally increases gratitude and self awareness. When you start your day by celebrating yourself, you start noticing your small wins instead of only failures. You stop chasing external validation and feel content with your own progress. Gratitude and self appreciation together create mental peace. The opposite of stress and self criticism. Confidence isn't about thinking you are better than others, it's about knowing you are enough. The ripple effect. Mal emphasizes that the high five habit doesn't just help you, it helps everyone around you. When you treat yourself kindly, you become a Kinder partner, parent, friend, and colleague. You no longer project your insecurities on others. You spread positive energy wherever you go. This ripple effect creates emotional safety and inspiration for others to believe in themselves too. When you see someone who believes in themselves, you start believing you can too. Overcoming resistance. When people first try the high five habit, they often feel silly or uncomfortable. They might even avoid eye contact with themselves. Mel explains that this resistance is a sign of how disconnected you become from yourself. It's not the habit that's uncomfortable, it's self acceptance. The key is to do it anyway. Every time you push past that awkwardness, you heal a piece of your self judgment. Eventually, the mirror becomes a place of empowerment instead of criticism. Beyond the mirror, taking the habit into daily life. Once you've built self respect in the mirror, it reflects everywhere. You speak up for yourself more, you set healthier boundaries, you go after your goals with courage. You stop apologizing for existing. This one is small ritual in the morning becomes a mindset that lasts all day. The more you believe in yourself, the more the world reflects that belief back to you. Key lessons from the high five habit. You are your own teammate. Stop being your own enemy. Self love is a practice, not a feeling. You can't bully yourself into confidence. You must support yourself into it. One small daily gesture can rewire your mind. Compassion is more powerful than criticism. The relationship you have with yourself sets the tone for all your other relationships. Start your day celebrating yourself, not judging yourself. Final message. Mel Robbins ends the book with a simple truth. You have survived everything you have faced. That's worth a high five. The high five habit is not about vanity or self obsession. It's about self connection. It's about reminding yourself every day that you are capable, worthy, and enough exactly as you are right now. No matter what happened yesterday or what fears tomorrow brings, you can always give yourself a high five today and begin again. The world is waiting for you to believe in yourself. Start with one small high five.